Hello, good evening, everybody.
Hello and good evening, everyone.
How
As
are
you can
you?
see, I've got my glasses on, so we can see you properly now. Yes.
You see what vanity does for you. Vanity
Yeah, man.
is not a good thing, you know. Must wear the glasses. Okay, don't know what's happening. How's everybody? I hope you're fine and well.
I hope everyone is good, in good health.
Lovely to hear from you.
We are here again on another Monday, 8 o'clock, as per usual. You know what? Sometimes we get in a situation where we're ready, and then all of a sudden, our signal disappears.
Yeah.
We go into full panic mode. So at the moment we're calm. We're not paddling.
Exactly right.
So underneath we're not paddling. We're calm. So
yeah,
signal's good. But what we could say that tonight, for this month, we're talking about finances in all aspects. Now, you know, some people may not understand, but we are looking at estate planning as your finances. We're also looking at the tail end of the financing, as in when and if you pass away, what happens? What have you put in place?
Yeah.
We're talking about all aspects of financing, from saving, insurance, and the lot. So I think it's important that we start with our personal finance, our personal growth. And we have a financial educator.
A very good one,
A very good one.
Yes.
We've known him for many years.
Yeah.
Daryl Harper, and we would like to introduce you to him. And he's in the background,
come on
looking
in.
suave.
Looking very suave.
Very suave.
Come on in, Daryl.
Come. And Huw, the glasses look good.
Thank you. Yours too. You see that? It's all around.
Good evening, Daryl.
You're looking lovely as always, my dear.
Oh, bless you, darling. Bless you. Trying. We're trying. That's all we can do.
We're
doing. Not allowed to use that word by me. Try.
Oh, bless you.
Okay.
Try for people that play rugby.
That was a good one.
First nugget of the day.
Now, before we start, Daryl, let me just say to people, please get your notepads and pens. Yeah, we say that to you all the time. We mean it, because people like this gentleman here. So I'm going to go and come back and get the wire. Yeah. So we're back. It seems like our signal is going to be playing rodeo with us tonight.
Put his mouth on it, so we'll just continue.
So, ladies and gentlemen, please go and get your notepads and pens, because we need you to jot down the nuggets that come in your way. Yeah. So, without further introduction, sir, how are you and what are you doing?
Oh gosh, everything is phenomenal. Thank you very much. I missed the first part of the question because it started to cut out. Huw, what did you ask? Okay,
well, basically, I asked, how are you and what's happening? What's going on?
I am phenomenal. Life is amazing, and it treats me good, and I treat it better.
Good. That's it. That's what you want to hear. You okay?
Yeah.
Good.
We seem to have a slow lag. So let's see. Yeah, we do.
Yeah, you can. Yeah, we've seen that there seems to be a bit of a lag.
No problem. I can hear
you.
But
we're going to work through it. As we said, I think you see, Huw, next time you leave the Wi-Fi alone. We'll just let the gremlins play out. Yeah. But everybody, Daryl is here with us, and he is amazing. And as Huw said, have your notepad and pens ready, because through our conversations that we have weekly, people do drop some things that, you know, you may or may not know. So go grab them. All right.
Okay. All right. So first, Daryl, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you, sir.
Yeah, good. Okay. So first, may I start by asking you, who are you and what do you do?
So I am a financial educator. I've been teaching finance now. This year, May, will actually be 14 years of teaching finance. Do you want to know a bit of the background?
Yes, please.
Yeah. Yes.
So my background is not in financial services. So my background originally is as a teacher. So I used to teach for 10 very, very long years in a college. I'm not going to mention the college name. I loved it for probably about 8 years and then completely fell out of love with it because I felt, in my opinion, the educational system had changed. It was less about the results. It was more about the bums on the seats. So it was about keep the students, retain the students, and that's how we get our funding. They didn't care about, in my experience, they didn't care about the results. So once it moved down that route, it was time for me to leave. I left very dramatically in the sense of I sacked my boss. Where I sent him a picture of Alan Sugar from The Apprentice, and underneath the picture, you're fired. I emailed it to him, and then also copied every single member of staff. So over 600 members of staff were copied in the email.
Really?
I did. A lot of people thought it was an ego why I did it. It had nothing to do with that. Basically, what happened in August 2010, my grandfather sadly passed away. I never had a day off work. I never had a day off sick in 10 years. I asked for 2 days off, one for the funeral, second day to recover, and they turned around and said no. And then a month later, my cousin passed away. I asked them to attend the funeral, and they said no. So if it's not a parent, a grandparent, or sibling, you're not allowed to attend. And sometimes you have these pivotal points in life, and I'm so grateful for them doing that, because if they didn't do that, there's a good chance I may have stayed. But because I was so angry, so frustrated, so annoyed that I did 10 years without a day off, I said, all right, I've got to make a decision now. I'm either going to stay here and be underneath someone's thumb telling me what to do, when I can go to work, when I can take lunch, when I can take time off, or I'm going to take back control over my destiny and my future. And that's what I did. I got into finance really because, well, a few things. I kind of hop, skipped and buckled into it. It wasn't the path I was looking for. I was just looking for really 3 things. I wanted to have more time, more freedom, and more money. I wanted to have more time to do the things that I love with the people that I love the most, the freedom to do it whenever I wanted, and the money to be able to afford it. My parents essentially separated because of money. When I was 15, my mum got severely depressed and she later overdosed. And I had to take on mortgage payments from the age of 15 years old. So I'd experienced what a lack of financial education does to a family. So when I came across, just financial education, it made sense to me, because I'd been on the receiving end of it and having to pay a mortgage at the age of 15 and then having a mortgage at the age of 18 officially. So I'd experienced it. So for me, it just resonated. It resonated strongly.
That is a helpful story, but a growth one as well, because it shows that your growth mindset, even if you weren't ready for it, you had to step up, because at the age of 15, there was every month there's a knock on your door. So I mean, from that premise that you've actually had to make those decisions, how did you come about making those decisions? What tools did you have?
I had desire and hunger and the want not to be homeless. If you know what I mean. Everyone's has a situation or a circumstance happening, and you get choices to make. You have to. All of us have got choices. Every choice is a consequence. The choice of me not doing that meant that there's no roof over our heads. Does that make sense? So to me, it was just normal. What do I need to do? I'm very solution focused. What do I need to do to make sure that there's a roof over the head and the bills are paid? That was, I had to go to work. I was working on the building site with my dad anyway. So he took me to work every weekend and every holiday and paid me a salary so I could pay the mortgage. It meant I had to, I also worked in the gym also at that point as well, just to make sure everything was paid. So you have to take responsibility is probably the key thing. And I always say to people, when you look at the word responsibility, people think it means to blame. You're responsible for that. They think blame. But when you break down the word responsibility, it means the ability to respond. That means every single one of us has an ability to respond. And once you take responsibility, you're in a place of power. But when you're at the effect of everything, you're slave to circumstances. So for me, it was about I want to take responsibility. I want to keep the roof over our head. We've got bills to pay. That was and I had a supportive family around me that, from when I was young, my aunt taught me what to do with money and save it. So I'd always had that foundation anyway, and it played out luckily.
Okay, so what was Auntie's information for you?
Auntie's information was really safe. You know, at the time it was just save your money, essentially stack your cash. She gave me those don't know if you remember back in the day. I'm going to show my age now. 27.
Go on.
I've been 27 for years.
Okay.
But you remember those NatWest pigs? We used to have.
Oh
like,
yes,
you remember?
yes. I've seen
mum.
it. I've seen it on YouTube.
Right. Yeah, me too. But I'm sure when I came to your house, they were there the whole.
That's a secret now.
He
Yeah.
literally got me saving into those. So and the thing is, once you have those habits when you're young, you tend to adopt them throughout your adult life as well. So from when I was 4, I was always putting my money in there. Anytime I got pocket money, or I didn't really get pocket money to be fair, my dad had me on the building site when I was 4, which is like child abuse, but I loved it. You know, at 4 years old, you're making tea, you're serving biscuits, but he gave me £5. You know, there was a day when £5 could stretch.
Money. That was money. That
you know, you could actually buy a bag full of sweets and crisp and drink and live on with a friend. So it was really about saving, being smart with money. Was the main thing she taught me. You know, to save.
So I suppose that was a positive habit, wasn't it, that you formed there? That was formed.
Yeah, definitely.
So now we have been to some of your workshops. Workshops, and what I've always taken from it was the power and the influence that you personify when you actually speak to people, because you encapsulate the room and people listen to you, and everyone who have their old habits quickly realize that there needs to be a change. And so if you can explain to me what your programs represent, what happens in those programs.
So there's a couple of them. I think for most of the time for me, it's a mental shift that most people go through. And this is just my opinion. Am I okay just to be myself?
Be yourself, please.
I'm okay to just see it how it is.
Yeah, because if anyhow you fake it out, you're out.
Like a friend of ours used to says, and I'm hoping that she's actually listening tonight. Talk the ting.
Right.
Talk the ting.
So let me just say that as my disclaimer. Yeah, this is a buffet table. So take what you want to take, leave what you want to leave, eat the chicken, eat the bone. But if I say some things that offend you, I'm not going to apologize for that. Yeah, because sometimes you need to be provoked before you move. And sometimes you need some emotional pain before you make a decision to do something different. So I'm just going to tell you my truth. You don't have to agree with it, but it's my opinion, which is a fact. So usually, in my opinion, most people are broke because they have a broke mindset. Most people, not everyone, but they have a broke mindset or a lack of financial education or lack of financial literacy. Most people don't have a money problem as such, they have an income problem. And the reason why they have an income problem is because they don't value themselves enough.
Okay.
Let me
go deep.
Like I feel like I want to take my jacket off, right? I'll probably dash off my jacket.
Take off your jacket. Let's do this.
Right? So, in my opinion, most people don't know their true value. So I'm going to say this. If you are on this and you're listening to this, and this is going to offend a lot of people, but once again, turn the volume down, right? And you know, one of the things with me, when you come to my events, I just tell it how it is. I'm non-apologetic, but that gets people to move. If you have been working for 10 years of your life, and after 10 years of work, you don't have £10,000 in your bank account, whatever you're doing doesn't work.
Okay.
I pause.
Okay, I'm hearing
you. It'll be hard, but
pause. Say it again. If you've worked for 10 years of your life, and after 10 years of work, we don't have £10,000 in the account, whatever you're doing isn't working. It means you're not making enough money, you're not saving enough, because that essentially means you've been unable or unwilling to save £1,000 a year, which means you haven't been able to save £84 a month, which means we haven't been able to save £2.77 per day, right? So what happens? When you break it down, it's like, well, that makes sense because I buy crisps and drink for my children, and that costs more than that. So I haven't put that away because that's short term, right? So when I say most people don't value themselves, I know when I sat down and I really worked how much I was getting paid per hour when I was a teacher, I was on less than minimum wage. Yeah, no, maybe minimum wage. I was on probably £5 an hour because of the time you put in, as you know, you marking work, preparing work. Your weekends are not your own. Even when you get a half term, you're prepping and all of those.
Exactly, right?
So when you really work out your pay per hour, you're on minimum wage. And I said to myself, if I'm getting paid £5 an hour, why don't I go and work in McDonald's, get a free happy meal, some extra stars on my chest, and no stress? Do you understand what I mean?
Yeah.
Because, but once I said I'm on £5 an hour, I said, you know what, I'm worth more than this. I'm not going to keep showing up somewhere that's going to pay me less than my value. So now I could go into a school now and talk for 45 minutes an hour and get paid £750. Why? Because I understand my value now. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And they're not paying me for 45 minutes or an hour. They're paying me for 14 years of experience.
Yeah.
Okay.
Again, I want you to catch that. They're not paying me for 45 minutes or an hour. They're paying me for 14 years of experience. Which allows me to do events for the community for free.
Yeah.
I charge them. Do you understand what I mean?
Yeah.
Okay.
That is that. I love that way of thinking because sometimes we don't actually sit down and make the calculation. And it's when you make that calculation, the realization is, what do you do from there? So I like how you are pushing us to make that calculation to then see what's next. So what's next, sir? Now that we've calculated.
I'll give you one more thing on that. I'll give you one more thing on that. Make a
Okay.
decision to never get paid less than your age. Yeah, one of my friends' dads told her this, and I took it for her. Never get paid less than your age. So if you're 30 years old, you don't get paid less than 30k a year. If you're 40 years old, you don't get paid less than 40k per year. Because as you grow as an individual, your income should grow. If your income growing as well. Do you understand? So if your income's not growing, it means we've either settled or we've become stagnant, or we've decided that we're no longer growing as a person, or we've just not valued ourselves yet. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I mean, never get paid less than double your age. Because if there's other people that can go out there and make 10 grand an hour, why not you?
Well, you know what, Daryl? I hear all of that, right? But there's some of us that might be thinking, well, that's all good for you to say, right? But, you know, I've got bills to pay, and yes, I do value myself, but circumstances such dictate this is the way where I am at the moment.
So the thing is, Daryl, help us to move away from that.
All right.
That's a recognition of where we can be, are, or you know, where we shouldn't be. The next question is, what do we do from here?
Okay. I'm gonna come to that. I'm gonna come back and just address what Lorraine just said, because it's a valid point. There was a saying, you know, when I was started to go into financial service, I had a full-time job, but I was doing this part-time. Didn't have children, had a mortgage, right? And I was busy 7 days a week. I was training 7 days a week, doing martial arts, doing gymnastics. I was busy. And I said, I don't have time to do anything else. And I read this saying, and I can't remember who I heard it from. It might have been Elle Nightingale or somebody, Dale Carnegie. I heard it or read it. And to this day, I remember it. It said, the difference between successful people and unsuccessful people is simple. Unsuccessful people blame their circumstances for their lack of success, while successful people organize their lives and their circumstances to become successful.
Okay.
So I had to make a decision to organize my circumstances to become successful. And I say that to answer your question now, Huw, is we all have stuff going on. But I had to make a decision that, was gymnastics going to help me get to where I wanted to be financially? Was martial arts going to help me get to where I wanted to be financially? The answer was no. So I had to put them on the back burner, and I had to sacrifice something. And when you hear the word sacrifice, what do you think when people say, oh, you got to sacrifice? What's the initial first thing that comes into your mind?
Well, traditionally it's about giving up something.
Giving up, right? Yeah. Now, that's not what sacrifice means. Sacrifice actually means drawing closer to something. That I stop doing this so I can draw closer to X. Does that make sense?
Okay.
I mean, you see sacrifice like that, I'm drawing closer to something. It's a lot easier to give up certain things. And you have to ask yourself, does your activity complement the success and the goals that you have? Does that make sense? Because most people, in my opinion, would become financially free if they stop watching Dead Enders and television Instagram, Snapchat, and in your
I
page,
hear
you know
you.
what I mean? Because
Yeah,
what
I
you do
understand.
between 9 and 5 is what pays your bills. What you do after 5 is what builds your wealth. I say that one more time.
Yeah.
Your 9 to 5 income is your survival income. Your after 5 income is your future income. So the question is, what are you doing after 5 o'clock apart from being on here?
Okay. Well, listen, I'm going to hold you there. I'm going to hold you there for a second. Anyone that's watching, if you do have any questions for Daryl, you put them in the chat there, and we will put some of them to him if there's enough time. Okay. But
due to the way the system now works, put your name before your question. Yeah, that way we'll know who you are, because we can't see your name anymore. We just see Facebook user or whatever.
Yeah.
So just put your
YouTube
name before your question, and we'll be able to see who's asked.
Only if you want to. If not, we'll ask your question anyway.
Yeah.
All right.
So, Daryl, now that I have
that's a hard one to get, though.
Yeah, because you know what? There's
because we all want to be successful.
Pain comes in truth.
It's true.
Yeah?
We all want to be successful.
You feel the pain. You know exactly where you're hurting. Now recognize it, and put a plaster on it or do something to ensure that things get better. So how do we get better now?
What's one of the first things that you would say would help?
All right, so it's a process. I think the first thing is write down all the areas of your life that you're dissatisfied by.
Like from write down all the areas of your life.
Look, you see, I was just about to go for
that you're dissatisfied with. Yeah.
Because all if you think about it, all goals that you have in life come from a place of dissatisfaction first. I'm dissatisfied with the house that I have. I want to move into a new one. I'm dissatisfied by the car that I drive. I want a new one. I'm dissatisfied by the husband I've got. I'm joking, right? So all areas come from that place. Write down your dissatisfactions financially first of all, because the opposite of that is what you really want. Does that make sense? Yeah. So indicate those things. Have a clear vision of what it looks like for you. Yeah. Because if you don't,
the first one was write down
everything that you're dissatisfied by.
Because it will take time.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So write down all of those things first of all. Yeah. Then have a clear vision of what it is that you want your life to really look like. Yeah. All the goals and dreams that you have. Everything that you want to achieve, everything you want to do for your family and children. I know everyone's circumstance is different. Some people have children, some people don't, some have more, some have less, some have children that have disabilities. So your circumstances are going to be different, and your way out is going to be completely different depending on your situation. Yeah. So, but you still have to have a clear vision of what way it is that you want. I'd say then find a mentor, find someone that is a few steps ahead of you, and I'd say find a mentor that has a mentor. In my opinion, if your mentor doesn't have a mentor, then who's speaking into their life? So find someone that also is being mentored by someone, and as long as they're ahead of you, find someone to be, and this may be the same person, a mentor. Be accountable to somebody.
Okay.
Yeah. And by the way, on a side note, regarding the mentor, it doesn't have to be someone. I've got many a mentor that I've never met and that is dead. And I say that because they're mentored in a book that if there's certain people that I study and that I read, like Audible is my best friend. Yeah. Me and Audible are best friends, and I go through about 4 books a month on different subjects regarding money, finance, mindset, goal setting, whatever it is, habit forming, what have you. So I'd say definitely, subscribe to some sort of Audible or what have you.
Now, I'll just say this to the group as a whole. I will put in a free system by which you can just log into as many books as you want. There's about 74 million books for you to choose from, and it's free. Nice. So I'll put that into the group so everybody can have. On all subjects.
Fantastic.
Why that thing there costs money? I'll give it free.
Okay. So everybody, as we said, listen, your notepad and pen. Number 1, Daryl said, right? Write down all that you are unsatisfied with. Don't even get me on the spelling, because I know that looks so wrong. Okay. Number 2 is Daryl, tell me if I'm wrong. Go with your dream.
Have a clear vision
Have a clear vision.
Yeah, clear vision
Right.
of what you want your life to look like. Like write the 10 out of 10. It's like with anything. Like if you're gonna build a house, you have to see it in your mind first. Then you got to build it on paper. So you put a plan together, and then you start building it. You don't build it unless you see it. You got to see it here first. Then you got to write on paper, and then you start building.
Yeah. And then it's find a mentor. Yeah.
Who has a mentor?
Who has a mentor?
Fundamentally,
right.
Yeah.
And read some books. That's what we've got so far.
Like listen, and for me, like my car is open university. Like if you come into my car, it's very rare you're gonna hear music unless it's late at night and I'm tired.
Yeah.
Like you don't get to. I'm not a DJ. You don't get to request what I play in my car. Like if you come in my car, no, you know what I mean. If you come in my car, you're gonna leave more intelligent than when you came in because there's gonna be something, hopefully, that you've picked up from something that I'm listening to. Like and my mindset is very much, I better end my day smarter than when I started it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
So that's always the vision.
Like Daryl Harper, I'm gonna keep that one myself. Don't steal it.
I'm really taking it down.
Too late. It's been recorded.
Yeah. Okay, those are good.
That's good.
Yeah, that's the initial what you would say people should look at to try and
make
those
transitions.
Yeah.
There's more. So number one, if we're talking about now getting on the right track financially, obviously read stuff on finance. Yeah, definitely do that. Do a budget. So you got to do an inventory of what is happening with your money, especially right now. You know, everything's going up at least 54%.
Exactly.
In some cases, that means it's going to be an extra £100, £200-300. NI is going up, mortgages going up, and if your income's not going up, you have to understand you're in a race against inflation. And if you're not ahead of that, by default, you're going to end up with less and end up broker. Does that make sense? So you have to treat your life like a business and know what's coming in and what's going out, and cut out all the non-essentials. Like literally cut out anything. Especially if you're struggling financially, there's certain things that you don't need to have. That you may want them, but you don't need them. So cut out all the non-essentials. Like just cut out the emotion and get rid of it. You know, and then get a financial plan. Get someone to sit down with you and put together a financial plan that could actually show you how to move from where you are to where you want to be. Raise your salary, raise your income.
Raise your income. Okay.
Yeah, you've got to, because if you don't raise your, like, this isn't just me talking. If you don't raise your income, like, you're going to fall behind. You're gonna go into. There's a good chance you're gonna go into overdraft, credit cards, or loans. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Depending on what your income is. So you've got to raise it, because gone are the days. You remember when you could get penny sweets for a penny?
Penny sweets are all £10.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't even know how much they are now. But if inflation hitting penny sweets, you know what's going to happen next.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Okay, I hear that.
Okay,
That's
so now
very,
we're not at the stage now that we recognize that we need to go through, read a few books and listen, dash out all the latest hits that you've been buying, right? Listen to people who are well versed in financially as to help you create a budget. Look at what you've got, what you're having, what's coming in, what's coming out. I think one of the points that you actually stated there, Daryl, that I don't think you realize, you said treat life like a business.
Yeah.
That is very much
quite powerful.
What people don't actually think about. They think that life is just get on with it. Yeah. Wow. But a business is about planning. Yeah. And so if you treat your life like a business, there are things that are wasteful. There are things that are joyous, but that's after you've got your financial forecast after the year or two, and you start getting profit. Then you can treat yourself to something. But it's about saving, treating your life like a business.
And on that, on that as well, sorry to cut you, that also means that with any business, you got to have the right team around you. Something that my dad said to me growing up as a child, he said to me a lot of things, like, go to your bed before I beat you. Not that. He said, tell me who your friends are and I'll tell you who you are. And he said, if you're standing in a room with your friends and you're the smartest one in the room, you need to go and find some new friends. Hang out with people that are better than you, that are more successful than you. that have bigger goals and dreams than you have make more money than you make, and then you tend to grow to that environment. So you need to surround yourself, like in a business, with people essentially that are smarter than you. You can't be the expert in all things, but people that are going to raise your business, that are going to. So that's why I say treat it like a business in all aspects: team, money, income, outgoings.
Okay.
So
Right.
from what you've said there, I think one of the things that you need to look at first is yourself and deal with your ego, because without that, what you have is a situation where you're always competing with yourself and your ego. And if you start recognizing the things that you have, the things that you are about, and getting rid of those aspects of your ego, that's when you can look at yourself truthfully to be able to make those transitions, because they're painful. What you're talking about there is reality, and they're painful, and people don't like pain.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, there's a couple of questions. I'll stop you there, Dan. I hope you don't mind. But I think it's Michelle has raised the question or mentioned something here. She said, Michelle, does this man have children? I have a child with disabilities, and I'm unable to now work full time to be able to look for work that pays decently.
Let me start.
People that are in positions like that are trying to move forward, how would you direct them?
So once again, and thank you for the question, Michelle. So everyone's situation is different. Everyone has their own path to success. And Michelle, success to you may be different. Success to anyone is different to everyone. It's not necessarily financial. Yeah, success to you could be raising your child with disability and raising them well. That's your version of success. Yeah. But with every situation, there is a solution, because if you don't see the solution, you're always going to be stuck. So there are things that you can do from home. So for example, I've got a friend of mine that's got 3 children. She's got 3 children, 3 business. No, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So they run around so much, so I get confused with how many. 3 children. She's a carer to a husband who's not well. She's a kind of surrogate mother to 2 other children and runs 3 businesses and has a job. And her mindset is, I have to do this because I have 3 children. Someone else will be like, I can't do this because I've got 3 children. And it's all about how you decide to look at your situation. So yes, your circumstance may be more challenging than others, but there is a way to get out. If it means that there's loads of things that you can do from the comfort of your home that actually do pay a good salary. I don't know. I'll need to know a bit more of your situation, time you have to be able to work your way out, because I don't know the full picture.
Yes,
but
of course.
Get in contact with me and I'll happily sit down and show you a way out. Does that make sense?
Because that's really good.
I've worked with people that are single parents with disabled children and got them on the track to making a decent income. And what you find sometimes, honestly, I've got clients that are just on benefits that are making more money than people that have a job. And they're doing better financially on the benefits, but it comes in dribs and drabs. They don't see it. £200 here, £100 here.
Yeah,
they're getting paid 2.5K. But I don't sit down with you, Michelle. So if you want it to be more specific, happy to.
That's lovely.
Thank you.
And if you did want to get in contact with Daryl at any point at all, his details are on the screen for you all.
It's being displayed so you can actually.
Michelle, don't tell me to cuss. Don't go to cuss. For or no pools and text. Like told me to get clarity or what have you.
Be gentle with him. Be gentle with him. He's only been doing this for 14 years. Just be. I think, to be honest, I mean, everybody, I would say to everyone listening, and everyone listening, please. What Daryl is talking about is looking at yourself and your circumstances, and no one is under the same circumstance. So what we have to do, and Daryl is quite happy to have a conversation with you, is to talk with you through. Whether Daryl has 16 kids, 1 child, or none is irrelevant. He has the skills to help you to make the right choices, and he speaks from the heart, because we've asked him to do so. He can be, candid and just kind of give it to you straight, but that's what we wanted, because we've got too many people who speak, but they don't say anything. Okay? So this is why we've asked him on board, and that's what we do. We get the right people on board to support you, to speak to you. So, Daryl.
Yeah. So what? Yeah, Daryl. So somebody has also asked what 3 books, you mentioned books, to pick up a book and read, okay, or a couple of books. What ones would you recommend? That's from one of our users. What kind of books would you recommend? You see, people, I hope now when he answers, you do have a pen and notepad to take them down.
On my website, I got my favorite ones on there, and I need to update it. And once again, thank you for the question. It's an easy and hard question to answer, and the reason why I say that is my winning formula could be your losing formula. Does that make sense? And your winning formula, like what's right for Huw may not be right for Lorraine, and what's right for Lorraine's winning formula could be Hugh's losing formula based on your personality and your learning style and all those type of things.
Okay.
And I read books that are relevant to where I am at that time in my life and where I want to grow. But if I had to kind of name, it's going to be more than 3. I'm sorry. The first one that got me into finance and helped me kind of just change my thinking was Rich Dad Poor Dad. It may not say be in my top 3, but that was the first one that introduced me to it, and it gave me 2 things in there that really hit home. A lot of people look at a situation and say, "I cannot afford it," and it says, "No, you have to ask yourself a different question: How can I afford it?" That was the main thing that I got from that. Plus, understanding that just because you went to school and you got all the scholastic skills doesn't mean you're going to have financial success. That was a rude awakening for me. But if I had to name my really top ones, How to Win Friends and Influence People, that is a must for everyone. I don't care what you're doing. I don't care what your situation. I don't care what industry you're in. That is a must. And most people don't read that book properly. And I'm not even going to tell you the key part of that book, because when you read it the first time, call me and I'll tell you what you probably miss, because most people miss it. Right? How to Win Friends and Influence People by Dale Carnegie. Yeah.
How to Win Friends.
Yeah, How to Win Friends
and Influence. That book there single-handedly raised my income.
Okay.
That book there got me out of work during term time, Huw. So you know when you're not allowed to take time off of work? I was able to get out of work on Fridays, finish work early on a Monday.
Yeah.
All because of what I learned. And not what I learned, what I implemented in that book.
Right.
Another one I would say is Outwitting the Devil.
Okay.
That's a book with is it Dale Carnegie? No, not Dale Carnegie. The other Carnegie. Gone out of my mind now. Anyway, read Outwitting the Devil. I'd encourage you that if you listen to it on Audible, don't do it at night and don't do it with your lights off. It'll freak you out. But I say that one because it's literally an interview with the devil, talking about all the things that he was going to do to destroy society and what have you. It was written in like 1920 or before, but everything that's said in that book is what's happening right now.
Okay.
Yeah, that book is a must. Another one of my favorites is Atomic Habits. That's a great book.
Atomic
Habits. That one's all about forming habits, because essentially your habits are what's going to form your success. That book's amazing. Anything by John Maxwell, if you're into leadership, anything on John Maxwell and personal growth. I've gone through more than 3. I'm sorry, but not so.
You have. I think you've given everybody a good list there to at least start with.
I've got some more. How to Win Friends. Obviously, Think and Grow Rich. But you also got Think and Grow Rich, the Black Choice.
Okay.
There's that one specifically for Black people. And you know another book I read the other day, which was fantastic? 50 Cent's book. 50 Cent's book. It's like Think and Grow Rich for the ghetto. It is fantastic book.
Well, look how successful he is now. With his businesses, being a producer and so on. Yeah.
And, I've got another one for you as well. What's it called? The Business Bible. It's by a guy called Rabbi Daniel Lapin. He's a rabbi that teaches business secrets from the Bible, I think it is. It's called.
Okay. Cool. All right. You're giving us more than enough.
The
And I
compound
hope
effect.
everybody has taken those ones down. But that's a lot of reading that he's giving you there. And I'm sure that will set you on the
Well,
good
that's
path.
good. If you carry
That's
on
good.
reading, you won't be going out there and spending money on drinks and things. So that's good. Read the books. Buy enough. Buy more.
So, in terms of your workshops and what you do, Daryl, have you started those back again? Did they ever stop? And what do you offer? What can people expect if they were to come on one of your?
So they never stopped. They went online, and funny enough, 3 weeks ago I started to do some live again. I was getting so used to them online now. I was loving it. And then when I did one live the other day, I realized how much I miss doing live events and actually being in the room with people. What happens at the events? And I do a couple, and I think you've been to both. You've been to two of my main ones, haven't you? You've been to Design Your Life, yeah. And you could correct me if I'm wrong. I think there's a shift. It's a transformational event in the sense of helping you to see things differently. Be honest with yourself about where you're at financially. So the financial event really like giving you tips and tools that when you leave there, you have got things that you can implement straight away.
Yeah.
There's not you don't have to buy nothing. There's nothing to sell. Just come to the event, and it's just things that you can implement straight away, and just knowledge the facts. Yeah.
That was one of the glaring things for us was that we got there and almost after sitting down feeling comfortable, we were shaken out of our chairs by the fact that we had to look at ourselves deeply and answer the question. You couldn't avoid it because you were speaking to yourself. It wasn't something where I think I was a bit afraid of, writing on a piece of paper and then sharing it with people. There was none of that.
Don't give away too much.
No. But that's important because it was about writing on a piece of paper to yourself. And that's where the truth came out. And then you realize that you needed to pay attention because you realize what you wrote there said a lot of the things that you were missing out on. And then you just carried on to give people an in-depth view of where things were.
Yeah, and I think, and thank you. I think as well, what happens with a lot of people is they don't realize they've got circumstances that have caused their financial situation even now. I'm not just talking about stuff that have happened now. It's stuff in their past, and they've got past hurt, past pain that have caused them to act how they are now. Give you an example. One of my clients, there's two clients, and they said I could share the story. I'm not going to say their names. And the husband, husband to be, they were engaged. He was very much a spender. As soon as he got money, he'll spend it. The fiance, she was a saver. And they were always kind of at loggerheads arguing, and she's feeling uncomfortable. She's always spending. He thinks she's tight because she's always saving. And they've been together for years, engaged for a couple of months, and they didn't understand why they were always arguing. And I sat down and just had a conversation with him, just trying to find out what was the root cause of the current behavior. Yeah. And as I was speaking to him, I found out that the fiance, her and her mum were kicked out of the house by the dad and were left homeless on the streets. One day he came home, changed the locks, kicked him out, left homeless with nothing.
Yeah.
Now the guy, his dad or mum, sorry, his mum committed suicide because of money. So him spending money was very much, if I'm spending it, it means I don't lack it. So I'm not going down that same path as my mum.
Yeah.
And her saving it was a case of, I never want to be in a situation again where someone kicks me out of the house and I'm homeless.
Yeah.
So because they never had that conversation before, or they were, or they're both so involved emotionally, they couldn't see it. Me just coming in and having that conversation, talking about their past hurt, bam, they're now on the right track because they understood where it was coming from. So some of the time it's just looking at that and just saying I have this AAA principle. I say, look, acknowledge what has happened, because what has happened has happened. You can't move forward while your head is in the sand, and you can't move forward safely if you're constantly looking back. The only reason why you look back at your past is to see how far you've come, to learn from your past mistakes, or say goodbye to the people that you needed to leave behind, or the pain you left behind. So acknowledge it, right? Accept it, because what has happened has happened. So just accept it and then take action. Yeah, just take action. And if you look at the word action, it means I act on. If you scramble out the words, I act on the new decisions I've got to make. Yeah, I've got to make a change, but acknowledge it, accept it, and then take action on it.
Wow,
that is powerful.
That's powerful. Thank you, and so true as well. And as you said, a painful one, but interesting as you say. I suppose we take it for granted, don't we? Especially if you're, with your partner, you just get together and you get your place and you're just going along and you're paying your bills, and you might wonder why you're arguing or disagreeing or things are not moving in a particular direction. Lo and behold, as you say, it could be something as simple as having that conversation, understanding where each side have come from, and just laying it out on the table and leaving it behind to move forward. That's so powerful.
That is absolutely.
That could release.
That's the kind of thing
forward.
that releases people to move their, as you say, to move forward. Daryl, can I just ask you then? In that case, then, what you've just spoken about there, it says a lot about us as people. Communication is vital. Because we talk about finances and so on, but what is the point of talking about finances if you don't communicate as a couple to ensure that your finances that you have, you can make it work for yourself? Yeah. So I mean, I really do thank you for that. For us, when we came to you, we realized who was a spender, who was not, and so we had to work on that. We seriously did have to, because life isn't a bed of roses, so you have to understand and recognize your own truths yourself. And so from my perspective is, I get paid, she get the money, I take a little chunk of and I put it for myself, for me to do what I need to do. I no longer have to think about where the bills are being paid, because that's her forte. It's better than mine. Yeah, I could do it, but there's always months where I didn't pay. Yeah, now I don't think about that. So that says something about us. We've worked out our system. What I'd ask of you is, how do people start to save in a practical way now? Because one of the things you taught us was about not just having one bank account.
Okay.
What is that about?
So you got to have a minimum of 3, like a minimum of 3, like, and we're talking about active ones. Like, you don't have an account where the money visits.
Not the dormant.
You know what I mean?
Not the post office one. I mean,
no, because a lot of people have a visitation account. Like, the money comes to visit, but it leaves the same day. So you actually state residency.
More and more people are doing that. More and more,
right?
It's happening to more and more of us.
So the first account you need to always tell you got to have your emergency fund. Yeah, you got to have a sum of money that will sustain you for at least 6 to 12 months. That if something, I personally right now I think 6 months is not enough. Yeah, when I went full time in my business, I had 2 years worth of money saved. Yeah, because. And that was at a time when people still were able to get jobs, but now where it's a lot harder for people, I'll say you got to build that up to at least 12 months, and that takes time to do that. Yeah, you got to save at least 10% of your income to get to that point. The emergency fund.
10%.
May I just ask, in terms of emergency fund, let's talk about the practicalities of the emergency fund. How does that work? Like, you work out what you need overall for everything for the emergency. So
how does that work?
So it depends. So it works out in 2 ways, I'd say. So number one, you take your income, times it by 6, or take your income, times it by 12. If you're a couple, take the family income, times it by 12. I'd include the benefits as well. Yeah, so your total income. Now, if you're in your overdraft though, you got to take your expenses, because your income's not enough to support your current living. So you got to take your expenses and times that by 12. That's why it's so important to do the budget, so you actually you have clarity on where your money is going. And your essentials. That's the first one. Rainy day, they call that a rainy day money, and it rains almost every day in the UK.
Every day.
You gotta have it just in case. Right. Or I call it your Justin account, as in your just in case. Right.
Okay.
All right. The next one you gotta have is your short-term savings. So you're saving up for car insurance. Like when you pay your car insurance monthly, you pay a premium. When you pay annually, you pay less. Things like the building and contents, the holidays, the Christmas, those type of things. Annual expenses essentially is what you're saving up for. And to be fair, most people, in my experience of 14 years, not humble, to be fair, spend too much money over Christmas and it act all shocked and surprised when Christmas comes, like you didn't know it was coming in the first place. Like, do you know what I mean? You knew it was coming. Why are you shocked and surprised? And I've had to say to a couple of my clients, look, you can give as much gifts as you like. At some point, your children are going to forget about playing with them. I know when I was young, I prefer. You remember when you used to get the hampers with the polystyrene in there? I played with the hamper with the polystyrene more than I played with the toys.
Yeah. True.
But like I said, look, just time is the most important thing. Yeah, the time with your loved ones, time with your children is more important than any kind of gift. Does that make sense? Sometimes you have to say, yo, we've got a louder Christmas. We're going to spend time. We're going to have food, have a budget that you're going to spend, and that's it. Yeah.
Good. You know. Let me give you one of the little treats that we did on a couple of occasions. We don't do as much as Christmas now, but what happened was one day we said, okay, we're going to buy each other a Christmas present, and you got to go to the pound shop with £1, and you buy something that the other person wants.
Do you know that was so hard?
It was hard, but it also gave you the opportunity to think about what that person that you're with wants.
And it was less
and it was
stress.
Great.
And it was less stressful as well.
Because everyone goes in there and they think everybody wants a pair of Nike. Well, but you don't need that. Right? What you need is for someone to think about what you actually want. Can you get it for £1 in a pound shop? That is a great Christmas present.
Exactly.
The process that you go through to do that. So I recommend that to people as well.
I suppose again it's about that that shift in how you think of things, isn't it? You know what I mean? Which is hard, but okay. So you said that was the rainy day. You got the rainy day income, then you got the short term,
and then long term investments is the other one. So your 10-year plus goals or 5-year minimum, 10-year plus. So that's your retirement money, saving up for children's education, deposit for a home. This is your you can't touch it money for now until you've achieved the goal. Those are the three minimum accounts. There's other accounts that you should have as well, but those are the three major ones I would say.
Okay. All right.
What are the other ones? Just give us a little heads up on that.
Okay then. All right. So the other one I'll say cut you up so nicely. I would have an education account. So you have one account. Yeah, you have one account for your growth. So I have one account that anytime there's a course that comes up that I want to go on, an educational event, I've got an education account where that money goes in and I take it from that account. You are constantly going. One of my mentors said, if you're green, you're growing. If you're ripe, you're rotten. And the moment you think you've arrived is the moment you've died. My thing is in life, I will never, ever arrive because I don't ever want to arrive. I will probably die unsatisfied because there's always more to achieve. No, I'd be content but not satisfied.
I got you.
You know what I mean? There's always more to do. There's always more to achieve. There's always more people to help. So never arrive. So my education account is for my constant growth. And my constant.
Okay. That is fabulous. So guys, I'm glad I heard that.
Yeah. So remember, everyone, your 3 accounts. Okay. The first one is your rainy day income, 6 months to 12 months, of savings in. That's like the emergency fund, and then you've got the short term, which is
the bills
for your, for your bills.
The bills, every bingle that's coming along.
The yearly bills and your Christmas, and then you've got your long term plan. That's for
retirement and every other thing for
buying the house, whatever else you need to do.
The larger items in your life.
The do not touch one.
Yeah.
For now.
Now the educational account. I never knew, but I'm going to pick on that one as well.
There's more.
There are times I've seen some courses that I'd like to go on, and the prices hit my pocket to the point where I have to say no. I'll have to leave that alone. But I regret it. But now I know a system by which I won't miss out on. So thank you very much.
You're very welcome. So when you come to the events, I talk about there's some other accounts from how you structure it. But come to the event if you want to hear that one.
Okay, so you know what? He's just
led on quite nicely.
He's led you on to exactly what we're dealing with. Yeah, we want you to come to the event. It's not just about you. You need to bring the rest of the family. The earlier you learn about your finances, the better and stronger, wiser you become. you need to know about your finances. And we're going to work with Daryl to ensure that we get a few sessions together that you can come along and learn about your financial education, which is what Daryl is experienced at doing, supporting you in your financial education. So we're gonna keep on moving that. So when you watch this, keep his number. We are going to get in touch and we're going to give you dates where we're going to open the show for you so we can meet and we can get on with the programs that Daryl has been running for quite a while, and they're very successful.
Very successful indeed, and he has helped a lot of people. He has changed the mindset of a lot of our people going forward, and people are in a better place than they were before, and moving and striving forward with their businesses or personal life. And Daryl, do you know what I mean? Us being a part of that and learning from you ourselves, you know, we say thank you, because you have shifted our mindsets in very many ways.
Many ways.
And I'm sure that you'll be continuing to do that with many more.
So let me ask you, because when you're not done yet, don't think you're going anywhere yet.
I ain't going to. It's my day off. I've got time.
He's going to talk about the children.
My man's got a drink and I haven't got one. What's going on? Now, in terms of that, we are now at the point where we're looking at the finances, the changes that we need to do, looking at bank accounts. And also remember, while we say that bank accounts are difficult to get to right now. Yeah. So, you know, start looking now. Yeah. Get to know the online banks, because they're a little bit easier than our old school walk in the door banks. Right now, you can go online. I am the last person to talk about online thing, but
do your due diligence. You do your due diligence,
absolutely.
Obviously. But you try to do or to at least start the process, as Daryl has, you know, advised. Yeah. So Daryl, is brilliant you've been here with us, but you're not going to get away that easy, because your business has grown and you have grown as a person and a human being, from strength to strength going forward, and helping everybody in very many ways. So for you, what do you see your or what kind of legacy do you think you would like to leave?
So it's interesting because thinking of what part of the story to tell you. Okay, so my thing growing up was always, you know, I went into teaching because I wanted to make a difference. You know, you don't go into teaching for money, because let's be fair, there's no money in teaching. And I made a decision from when I was young, because I fell out of the educational system. You know, when my mum overdosed and she was in a coma, I bunked school for 3 months. Yeah, right. And never got caught. You know, which shows you how gifted I am. So,
wow.
Right.
Glip past them.
Okay. But I fell out of the educational system, and I could have just been another statistic, right? And I made the decision at that point that I wanted to be a role model to other people. I wanted to walk around and people said, that was the guy that changed my life. That was the guy that made me do something different. And that was a decision I made from when I was young, because I could have fallen out if it wasn't that I had the right support system around me and a family that loved me. Does that make sense? So I never forget, I was at this event once, a company event, and I was winning these prizes and these awards. And I remember running through the crowd and someone grabbed my arm. And as they grabbed my arm, I blocked and went to hit them. Because I got a background in martial arts, it was a natural reflex to block and go to strike. And I held my hand up and said, I'm really sorry. Don't grab people like that. I'm from East London. You just don't do that, right? So they pulled me in close and they whispered in my ear and went, we can see you. I was like, all right, thanks. And I'm running to the stage. Go through the rest of the day, I'm winning all these awards. And at the end of the day, again, I'm walking, someone grabbed my arm and pulled me, did the same thing. I went to block, I went to strike. It was a lady. I said, listen, I'm really sorry, natural reflex from East London. Don't just grab me like that, right? And she pulled me in close and she went, we can see you. You're making us proud. Keep doing what you're doing. And I realized at that point that what I was doing, I wasn't just representing myself, I was representing my people. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And that was key for me. That was like, I wasn't just doing this for myself anymore. Other people were relying on me to become successful. And I say that because and I'll say this to anyone that's on here, there's a single mum that's relying on you to become successful. There's a single parent with a disabled child that needs you to become successful. There's a single dad that needs to become successful. There's a family with 5 children that need to become successful. They need to see you become successful as a role model for them, to give them the belief. Does that make sense? So make a decision that you are going to be that role model for other people and show them that actually, if you want it bad enough, you will find a way. They say you got to want to, you'll find the how to. So part of my legacy, I say this, I want to have a waxworking Madame Tussauds, right?
Yeah.
Not for ego. I just know if you've got a waxworking Madame Tussauds, it means you've done something, good or bad.
Yeah.
It means you've done something.
Yeah.
Right? So I want when I'm no longer here, I want people to be talking about the things that I've changed, the things that I've done, and the legacy that I've changed, and that I've changed generations to come.
Yeah.
That's what I'm constantly fighting for, and that's why I want change, and that's why I'm so real with people, because sometimes if you're not real with them, you end up letting them slide and still doing things wrong. Where I'm just like, tell people straight, because if you think about it, in any situation, you remember you got fight, flight, and freeze.
Yes.
Only one of them requires you to stay still. The other two require you to move. And in my experience, most people don't do things not because they're frightened. They don't do it because they have doubt. Fear doesn't stop you. It makes you flight or fight or freeze, but the two of them require you to move. Doubt is what kills you.
Yeah.
When you doubt yourself, you doubt your ability, you doubt what you're capable of doing. Those are the things. And my thing is to be able to debunk that and actually find out where you're at mindset wise, because unless we can change what's going on here, we ain't going to change what's going on here. Does that make sense? Because I can give you all the tips and tools and all the coaching, but if this ain't thinking right, then you ain't going to follow the instructions anyway. Does that make sense? That's why my thing is, let's deal with the thinking first, then we're going to deal with the practicalities next. And that don't take long to change. So the legacy will live on.
Yeah.
Perfect.
That's
perfect.
That's great.
I want to ask you about, when we start looking at doing this training, what will people receive? What kind of, how will it be structured? Because I want people to understand that it's coming soon, and we want to make sure that people, what we've received this evening is just the tail end of the whole
tip of the
package.
iceberg.
Yes. So it depends on how many sessions we decide to do. Yeah. So there's going to be the mindset shift. Yeah. My thing is the 3 M's: mindset, methods, motivation. Yeah. Because if any one of those things is missing, you're not going to do it. Because if you have the right mindset but you don't have the right method, you're not going to be able to do it. If you've got the motivation but you don't have the method, you're still not going to be able to do it. And if you've got the method but you're not motivated, you're still not going to be able to do it. So you kind of got to tackle those 3 things: the mindset. Yeah. Then let me give you the methods, and then once you got the methods, you automatically will be motivated. Yeah. So I'm going to go through those areas there. Let's look at where you're at. Let's find out where you want to get to. Let me give you some tips and tricks to get on the right track financially, which could be paying your debts off sooner. It could be showing you how to pay your mortgage off sooner with the same money you put in it every month, saving and investing, protecting the family estates, planning, all that type of stuff will happen in there. And then we'll do some other stuff depending on if we do, the second session you came to, which is probably my favorite one, Design Your Life.
Yes.
You came to that one, didn't you? You did.
Yes.
That one's one of my favorite ones, because that one's I've had people go off and set up their own businesses after that, and young people have come to that and they've changed their life at school. And that one's, I love my first one. I love all of them, but the second one is like 6 or 7 hours of work where we go to work. So
can I just add there, because I want people to understand this is a situation that the family can come together and learn. Many times you see people saying to you, oh, come and learn this. And so this is about your learning. This is about the family interacting and learning together. And I'm telling you now, your children will see you in a brighter light, because they will want to follow that light. Yeah. So, I am bigging this up because this is exactly what it is.
Yeah.
It's mind-blowing that you can actually work with your family to deal with the issues that you need to deal with, to come through and to work together.
And
because
move forward
this man
together
puts us in a position where we have to ask ourselves pertinent questions about our lives and what choices we make. You know.
So when it does come out, and we will be working behind the scenes to get that working in place for you, then we'll put that out there. But do make sure that if this is something that has made you think, actually, do you know what, I could do with finding out a little bit more, obviously you can get in contact with Daryl directly, and I'll put his details up there again for you. Okay, and obviously anything that we we'll do together, we will clearly let you know. But we're always trying to strive and bring you brilliant people that is within our community. And yet again, we've brought you another one here this evening. And again, I hope you did have your notepads and pens and have learned something going forward with this. And Daryl, it has been a pleasure again, my dear.
An absolute pleasure. Thank you.
Having you with us, okay? And you look after yourself, and I'm sure we'll put your details up there again for everybody. If they want to get in contact with you, they can. All right.
Great stuff. Thanks very much.
Thank you. It's going to be nothing but real talk at the event. Thank you. And honestly, can I say thank you to you guys for putting the platform together to help the community, because you guys have been doing a fantastic job.
Oh, bless you.
How dedicated you guys are to helping people through your business and Black business, and just taking your time. And I wanted to say to everyone, honestly, these guys don't have to do this. They never told me to say this. They don't have to do this, but for their heart and their passion to want to change people, change the community, they do it. So plug in, get more people on, get more people listening, because even if someone comes on their head just one thing, sometimes it's that one thing that you hear over the hour that changes your life. And it could be that one nugget. They say that you're 3 feet away from gold. Plug in, get on, listen to the recording. It could be something you missed. Come to the events that they're always promoting, because it's there for you and it's there for the community. And sometimes we don't show up to enough stuff. Yeah. We don't show up to enough stuff. We're not active. And there's stuff out there for us. I remember hearing that saying, and whether it's right or wrong, I don't know if you ever heard that saying. They say if you ever want to hide something from Black people, put it in a book.
Yes.
And then when I heard that, I was like, 4 books a month I've got to read.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So when we putting on events for you lot, show up, like organize the circumstances so you can be there to get the information to change your life financially.
Exactly.
And I just want to applaud you guys for what you're doing, the work you're doing. You're doing amazing, absolutely fantastic.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
And for the person that's asking when are the next events, we will keep you posted. And obviously, if you want to
keep in touch, we'll always publicize what we're doing, and we just want you to come on board. Call your friends and family. Let's just get together and learn together and empower each other. Okay?
Yeah,
so I'm going to let Daryl disappear because it's been a long day, and we will see you all next month.
Yeah, but we do have, unfortunately, something else to share.
We have something to share. So it's a young man who has been missing for the last 6 days, and the family has asked us to shine a light to let everyone know about what's happening. So let me
just put that here for you. 1 second. Yeah, okay. He has been missing for a few days now. So I'm just going to put the information up there or for you guys to see. This is the young gentleman. If any of you, we can't even say what area it could be. He could be anywhere.
He could be anywhere. He's been missing for the past 6 days. Miles,
his name is Miles.
Miles Cunningham, and he's 6'11", hazel eyes, stocky build, outgrown hair. Last seen around Redbridge area. In a light blue,
in a navy blue
MC. Was that Mac?
Yeah, Mac. Yeah, tracksuits, and he could be anywhere. But if you do come across, if his face looks familiar to you, do use that contact number there.
The contact number is 07572 483895. 07572 483895. Please, if you have seen him in any area, please use that number. Get in touch. It's Miles.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Well, thank you very much. All right. And we'll share that again around. So if anybody has any information, the number's there. Okay.
Thank you very much.
Once again, guys, thank you very much for being with us. It's been a pleasure. You take care.
It's a look. Thank you very much. We will talk to you all later. And Daryl, it's been wonderful. Talk to you soon.
Take care, everyone. Have a good
Blessing
week.
to you.
Bye
Have
bye
a good
now.
week.
Bye
Bye-bye.
bye.